Bobo C. Tiberius with round 2 of a Modern League using Mono White Soul Sisters. This is a very strong hand. We love the path, we love the bounce creatures, we love Sister into Bugler, so we snap keep this on the draw. Our opponent has mulligan to 6 and is currently debating a mulligan to 5, which just makes this hand even better. They start with a Polluted Delta. They do not crack it, which is interesting. Normally Polluted Delta is a huge indicator of Grixis Shadow, and it stands to reason that if it was Grixis Shadow, they would want to crack Delta right away. They do crack it on our turn for a tap Steam Vent. Still very likely to be a Grixis deck. Sulfur Falls, and then they do nothing to follow up. We really like that Plains draw because otherwise we would have to force down Skyfisher or Whitemane Lion because of the way Flagstone works. We would have to play it, crack it, and all that stuff. Instead, we're able to just play a Plains and hold up mana. We'll come in for one, see how they respond to that. Opponent opts. Opponent opts again. So this might be a more control-based Grixis deck. The Polluted Delta may just be the fetch that they have lying around. There's a chance this is just like a red-blue something deck. I'm not really sure what. We're going to cast the Whitemane Lion and see how they react to that. We want more info here. So they allow it to resolve. We'll always yes to Soul's Attendant. And then we'll gain life and have a 2/2. Our opponent hasn't played anything yet other than the ops. So we do have that going for us. We'll play a Flagstones of Trokair here and crack our other Flagstones of Trokair. We will get a basic Plains. I don't want to have something happen where they're being silly and they Blood Moon us. That would be hilariously bad for us. So we get a basic Plains so we can cast everything in the deck. My gut here says go with the Soul's Attendant. I do want to get that Bugler down sooner rather than later, though. We'll get in for 2. And we'll hold up there. There's a chance they can Anger of the Gods. There's a chance they can do a lot that would blow us out here. So we want to just present our damage and go from there. Snapcaster comes down. Snapcaster targeting opt, and then they will opt in theory. So this is very much just a Grixis control deck so far. Having access to so many ops really helps fix their hand. We will Windbrisk Heights here. See what's available to us. And we get the Archangel of Thune underneath like we want to do. We would have loved to draw all those cards though. With all the mana we have, we would have loved to draw all those cards. My dog agrees. He would have loved to draw all those cards too. We'll take that trade. Probably not the best trade to take, but we'll take it. We'll play a Skyfisher now. We have the ability to hold up path still, though it doesn't look like the path is going to be really worth much. And we'll pass from there. Our opponent remands. This could be the deck that is trying to flash in Emrakul, which this hand is very bad against right now. They braid our sister. There is a version of blue-red control that its main job is to just flash in a is to basically play counter draw and then eventually get to a point where they can through the breach in an Emrakul or Nahiri and Emrakul. I guess that would need white to be to Nahiri and Emrakul. So there's always the possibility that that's what we're up against, and that would blow us out here. Cryptic for a counter draw. So now we'll play Squadron Hawk. Squadron Hawk helps us get that Archangel of Thune out faster. It fills our hand up quite well, makes our draws a little more smooth. We'll cast the Soul's Attendant here. And then we'll try to get a Skyfisher down. We're going to bounce a land back with the Kor Skyfisher here. Just play the land again. With 5 cards in hand, if they Wrath here, or sorry, not Wrath, but if they Anger of the Gods here, it doesn't hurt as badly. It does hurt, but it doesn't hurt as badly. We will go for it here. They need to be able to either, so they can't answer our attacking creatures, so they need to have a counter spell for the Windbrisk Heights. Because this just ends the game right here if it resolves. So they need a counter for this. Some people don't know that they can counter that. Some people don't know it is a cast trigger. So it does cast the card in question. It looks like either A, they didn't have the ability to cast it, or B, they didn't have the counter. So either way, we're very happy because we're presenting lethal next turn. We'll get a Bugler down. And at this point, we're perfectly happy just passing to them and seeing if they can answer it. They can go Snapcaster tap down next turn, potentially. Use the Cryptic to tap our team. They will just Sweltering Suns, which is fine. We're still presenting lethal next turn. They have the Bolt. They're really having to work hard to clear our board here, and they still have to deal with a 3/4, so they will snap Bolt here. That is a lot of cards to wipe our board, but there you go. Very, very well done on their part, and they're down to 1 card. We hit another land. What we want to do here is set up the scenario to... We want to set up the scenario where we are presenting lethal again. We want the Mistveil Plains because at this point, we do want to generate value off of Squadron Hawk. So we'll play a Skyfisher here. Get a land back to our hand. Play that as our land per turn. And then play the Squadron Hawk. Everything we have is in the air, so they can't chump. They're down to 2 cards in hand. One of those was a land. We like the Soul Warden draw there. We will Mistveil Plains back a Squadron Hawk. We want to start putting value back into our deck. And then we will attack with everything. Getting our opponent down to 4 unless they have a Bolt. And we will get Militia Bugler here. For a Whitemane Lion. We love having instant speed Whitemane Lion here. Worst case scenario, we can just bring back a Bugler next turn. At the end of this turn. And still present lethal. And we get the W there. We take game 1 with just a very good value play. Interesting scenarios here. If they're just a Delver style deck, so let's start with Rest in Peace because they do have Snapcaster, and Rest in Peace kills Snapcaster pretty well. I'm looking at that Celestial Purge. They're a red deck, so they might have Chandras, they might have, you know, Young Pyromancer, and that Celestial Purge gets really good. I want to bring it in just in case. Rune Halo is interesting. Using Rune Halo to just name a lightning bolt stops Bolt Snap Bolt really well. But we haven't seen it. They're good enough at removing our board that Worship doesn't do a lot. Disenchant could come in if we had saw I'm blanking. The enchantment that flips into a land. I'm just not very comfortable bringing in much more than that, unfortunately. And we'll cut one of each of the sisters. We'll cut a Serra Ascendant. And we'll cut a... We'll cut one of the... Let's actually cut down all the Serra Ascendants. They're just so good at bolting. And bring back a Soul Warden. And that is good by us. Back on the draw in game 2. Looking to play pretty much the same kind of hand. If they're just a value blue-red deck, this could be a very good matchup because of the bounce creatures. This hand's interesting on the draw. We like it enough to keep it because the Rest in Peace shuts them down pretty well, we're imagining. And then Kor Skyfisher can bounce stuff creatively. So we will keep it. We hope to draw some creatures. There's the Flooded Strand. So there is a chance they have white. There is a chance they have that Emrakul set up well. Start with a Windbrisk Heights. Hope to hit Archangel of Thune again. We don't, but we do hit Oketra's Monument, which is kind of funny. All 3 of these spells are actually really good to tuck under there. I'm going to go with the white. Let's go with the Monument, even though Monument under Windbrisk Heights is kind of funny because Windbrisk Heights implies you already went wide and Monument is like, hey, let's go wide. But we saw last game how simple it is for the deck to get 3 underneath. And we want to be able to draw a Squadron Hawk, play it, go get that Squadron Hawk. Perhaps the right play is Whitemane Lion underneath there, but who knows? Let me know in the comments if you think it would have been better to play the Whitemane Lion. I definitely think the Squadron Hawk stays in the deck so we can go get it. We get a Pridemate. And we're going to play the Rest in Peace right away. Could get countered here, but then we get a counter off the board. Does not get countered. So we're happy with that. If they have a single Snapcaster in their hand, that is, Rest in Peace is a value engine. Is this a V-click? They do target us with the click, so we'll path it. We don't want to be taking too much damage here. And we want to force them into Snapcaster beats. We're fine just casting a Pridemate. They take the Pridemate. I don't know. I worry if Skyfisher was the better call there. And then we get a Bugler. So we'll pass from there. We want to be able, we hope they tap out next turn for something. That way we can cast the Bugler, have Skyfisher to get Bugler back. And that seems like a really good way to generate some power in this. New Jace, if you would draw a library, you win the game. So Labman, Jace. Top 2 cards of the library into the graveyard, draw a card, draw 7, then you win the game, then Labman. So they're going for a mill condition here, it looks like. We like that even more because it looks like their Jace is designed to put stuff in the graveyard that they can then flash back. So now we're even more happy with the Rest in Peace. And we get to cast a Bugler clean, which we really like. We don't have to worry about Bugler getting countered. I probably should have grabbed another Bugler there. But I like being able to tap out and have 2 creatures. We now have enough power to really scare them into doing something with Jace. They have to throw something out in front of Jace. Now, they mow me that time? Yeah, they mow me that time. And they Sweltering Suns. That's a good 2-for-1. They're tapped out again, so now we can cast Squadron Hawk. We'll Ghost Quarter our own Flagstones to get Mistveil Plains here. Let's always yes real fast. Then we'll Ghost Quarter our own Flagstones to get the Mistveil Plains. Looping Squadron Hawks seems like an okay. Oh, wow. We forgot about Rest in Peace. We forgot that Rest in Peace shuts down the Flagstones play. We forgot that. That's a problem. It's not a problem. It's a bummer. We can still play Skyfisher here and get back a creature and get back a land. That was a mistake on our part. A pretty serious misplay. So if you don't know, Flagstone says when it goes to the graveyard, so since Rest in Peace exiles it when it leaves the battlefield, it doesn't trigger its search ability. So there were probably people watching saying, no, don't do it, what are you doing? And then we lose based off of that. We lose a card based off of that. But if they can't Wrath here, and they're discarding 2 cards into their exile pool, they discard another Jace. And a Mana Leak. They need to be able to bolt us here before we attack, otherwise the monument comes down. Cryptic? They have Cryptic mana. Still waiting to see if they do anything. We're going to attack everything into Jace. We don't know what kind of shenanigans they can do with Jace. Let's see if they counter our monument this time. They didn't counter anything under the Windbrisk Heights last time. So and we'll go for, we will try to get a Bugler here. See if they do anything about it. They do not counter the Bugler. We will get a Pridemate. So we have a nice little wide army here, able to deal 7 damage a turn. They need to start answering us here if they want to get back into this one. This is what they've mulled so far. So they mulled out a second Rest in Peace. They got one of our Archangels, another of our Buglers. They bounce the Rest in Peace to our hand. They had the chance all the time to cryptic our plays, and I'm curious why they didn't. They get a Bugler and a Flagstones on their mull. Shock themselves down for an Anger of the Gods. That's Anger of the Gods is good here. So we'll try the Rest in Peace first. We want to get that Cryptic Command out of their hand, out of their ability to use it. They haven't exiled much out of their hand. They'll abrade the Oketra's Monument. And they'll lose that abrade. So we will play a Squadron Hawk and hold up path. We're in trouble now. We don't really have an out here, and we're getting a little short on clock. We might have to scoop this one up just from not being able to generate enough ways to stop them. They've mulled us pretty aggressively here. Let's not make the Flagstones mistake again. We're going to start attacking them. The Jace is just going to be a Jace for a while. They bolt that. So we'll start generating a more aggressive clock here, though they have 6 cards in hand. We might be kind of underneath their lock here. With this many cards and that much land, it's difficult for me to believe we can do much here. Our best bet is to maybe resolve an Archangel of Thune. Did they get all of our Archangel of Thunes though? They got one. Yeah, they've just hit one of our Archangel of Thune so far. It's hard to do much, but there's still a lot of cards we can draw in that 25. And if we can just keep attacking. With the Rest in Peace active, there's no reason to hold back Squadron Hawks. We do get ourselves 2 for 1, but if they win, we should say. We know they have Sweltering Suns, we know they have Angers, so they're running them in some large number, we imagine. They bounce our Rest in Peace again. We need to be able to kill them quickly here. Get a Skyfisher and a Plains off of their mill. And we draw a Skyfisher. Knock them down to 10 with the double Squadron Hawk. We'll play the Rip again since they keep answering it. it's not really hurting us to be on the battlefield. They'll Snapcaster Cryptic it, which does allow us to land a Kor Skyfisher, in theory. Counter draw. Do they have something to stop the Kor Skyfisher? Do they have a Remand? Do they have a... They do have a Remand. Doesn't bother us too much. We'll just recast it. And then play the Plains as our land per turn and pass. So we can clock them here. There's a Desolate Lighthouse that we can blow up. We do have to hit Jace next turn. We don't want them to ultimate into drawing 7 cards. It's clear that's their game plan, is to just always have enough cards to answer anything we do. And then there's an Anger, so that's likely the end. And we're just going to concede there. Not much we can do. Once we're underneath that lock, getting the play becomes very important. We didn't really see anything that justifies us changing it. Like, honestly, we could Ruined Halo naming Jace, but then they just target themselves, I think. Yeah, I think they just target themselves. It's target player, so. This honestly seems fine. It stands to reason they have this is interesting. This is really interesting. I like this hand a lot. Skyfisher is a really efficient threat. It is dead to bolt, it's dead to their removal, but being able to get in through the air, get in over Snapcaster beats, be able to trade with V-Click, this seems pretty good. We'll start with the Windbrisk Heights. See what we hide. We'll hide one of the Buglers. That seems to be the most value. There's an argument to hide Rest in Peace. Play a Skyfisher here and start generating clock. They fetch for their red-blue land to bolt our Skyfisher here. No, opt, okay. When they put it in untapped, I thought they were going for the bolt on Skyfisher. We don't mind them bolting themselves to opt. That seems very, very pro us. Get in here. We'll bolt there. So let's do that again. Let's see how many bolts they have to stop a 2/3. We saw how their game kind of goes along, so if we can just keep generating pressure, we might be able to take this third game home. It doesn't feel good. Blue-red tempo decks like this one have kind of been Soul Sisters' nightmare for a very long time. So it doesn't feel very favored. But with the ability to just generate 2 damage in the air every turn, it gets a little better, it feels like. They thought about not taking the damage. They do take the damage. And we'll get down to Soul Warden. We want to make sure the only way they can beat us is with... we want to make sure that the only way they can beat us is with Jace. They V-click on the end of our turn. So I'm glad I cast that Soul Warden. So that means we'll get at least one of them. It also means we're racing now. I take the Squadron Hawk here, by the way. Squadron Hawk seems like the best play. They do take the Squadron Hawk, and we get a Whitemane Lion. I am mostly okay with that. If they don't Wrath here, we can use that Whitemane Lion really creatively. They hold up completely, which is fun. We draw another Whitemane Lion. See if we can get them to block the Skyfisher here. And then Whitemane Lion it back to our hand. Opponent considering. Whatever they block, we just Whitemane Lion it back to our hand. And we get in for 1. We don't mind that our opponent is taking some time to make their plays. We'll leave this at there just to avoid the anger of the gods. Right now we can race them if they go on the offensive, so we don't mind. There's a Jace. They mill us there and get an anger out of their deck. we'll keep attacking them. We don't really want to worry about Jace right now. And we'll just keep playing the bounce game, gaining life. And now we'll gain even more life. And we can Windbrisk Heights next turn, so they need to answer that. Lever. Oh. Okay. So they just get there. I don't think we have an answer for that. Well, what an uneventful way to beat us. Cool. See you in the next one. Dope.